everybody, it's Christine. It's time for a scrapbook process video. And what I pulled out here is the second half of a Scraproom Flavors of the Month. It's a collection by Photoplay called Fresh Picked. If I can be 100% honest with you guys, I do not remember the first layout I made with this. I have no idea. But it has these. I have a full-size sheet of cardstock, and then I have a full-size sheet of this paper, and then I have, obviously, paper cut out of this one. It's got cute little kitchen things, which is really adorable. And then I have a couple of little embellishments here. Mom's recipes, family faves, time to bake, little kitchen-y stuff. And so I asked my mom, I said, do you have any photos of you cooking? And she had this one, actually, believe it or not. Now, she actually told me the wrong location. She's telling me this was in Tyler. That is not true. This looks like it's 1981, you guys. This actually has a date on it. I cannot believe it. The cool part is I've decided, now this is rounded corners. I'm not going to actually glue this down. I'm going to use photo corners because I don't want to mess it up. So I use photo corners. But the other thing I went and did is I got into my Color Rush Studio design team kits from last month. So this was March. And we had these little like leatherette pieces, and it has a little house and it says Home Sweet Home. And I thought that could be really cute with this too. And also it had these little floral bits, and I know there's like some little yellow flowers. I don't think the pink is going to work, but there's like the blue and the yellow, which is in kind of this color palette here. So I think this could be pretty. And then I had cut this out of a piece of paper, and it looks like a piece of, so I thought I might journal here. So that's my starting point. I think I may have to go get a piece of white cardstock though, because I don't know. Let me play with this for just a second. I'm going to trim this down. I'm not 100% sure my design yet. I'm thinking kind of like little squares or something. Don't know. I'm going to think on that for just a minute. But I may go get a piece of white cardstock. And yeah, unless I can find a yellow. Don't know for sure, y'all. Let me go digging, and I'll be back on in a second. Okay, you guys. So what I've done so far is I have trimmed down that green cardstock by a 1/2 inch, and I did gut the yellow floral. That's the back side you're seeing right there, that little polka dot. I actually intended initially to start with the polka dot as the little base for a grid. But after I cut these little, because I wanted these little kitchen icons. I for sure wanted these little kitchen icons. And especially there's like little pot holders and stuff. And I wanted those, but I laid them on that polka dot and I go, that's just too light. It's white on white. It's just not going to work. So I thought, well, I'll flip it over and I'll use the yellow. And I do still use the yellow, but I'm going to actually also introduce the green because it's just going to still be it was getting too lost to me. So I'm going to actually introduce the green. So I'm cutting in these little, so I've cut my square, by the way, the big base there for the grid into a 7 by 7. And then I'm cutting the little squares here into 2 by 2s. So I'm going to fill these in. In a second, I'm going to realize I need to do the green. And then when I start putting that together, I'm going to cut away. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do all of these. I probably should have cut some of this out too, truth be told. But I will say that my mom is cooking, but I have this little time to bake and things like that. She's not actually probably baking, to be honest with you. But that's okay. I went ahead and on the little journaling spot, I'll kind of talk about the fact that, you know, she's probably not baking in this picture. But she had this cake, you guys. It's called the Dream Cake. It is so freaking good. It's got like cinnamon and stuff in it. And then the icing is like it was heated and you kind of poured it over. Almost like it's not a ganache because it's not really exactly like that. It was more like a glaze, I guess. But that was a really good cake. And we used to everybody be like, oh, I want the dream cake for my birthday or whatever. But so I kind of mentioned that, even though she's not technically baking in this picture. Here's where I was doing the green, and I go, that's going to be a little too big. So I'll trim those down, but I'm also going to end up scuffing the edges of all the papers, you guys. And here's Miss Saturn. She's traumatized. The kids brought the puppy up here this weekend. They're visiting, and she hides, and she doesn't like it when the puppies are here. She doesn't like any other animals here, let's be real. She's a grand old lady, and she's like, this is my life. Don't interrupt my life. But she comes in here because she's like, I need some love, Mama. So she's going to stick her head in my hand a couple times. I don't know if I leave it all on camera, but she's definitely right up on me like she needs love. And I pet her because she's sweet. But anyways, I had this long journaling piece here. I initially thought maybe I'll tuck it up underneath that grid. I thought maybe the picture would come to the top of the grid. I'm going to end up separating the journaling piece from the grid, and I'm going to pull the photo down more into the grid in just a minute. And then I had that little banner piece there. It says, From Our Kitchen with Love. And I'm going to move that actually to the top in just a minute. I'm going to decide that's not where I want that thing. By the way, I corrected myself with a little text thing. I had made the comment in the intro, this little piece here, this Home Sweet Home, was from last month's kit or March's kit, and it was leatherette, and that's completely wrong, you guys. This is actually from February's kit, and it's cork. I got that totally wrong. I had put my two Color Rush Studio February, March in a single envelope, and so when I was pulling this out, I was like, oh yeah, no, that was wrong. So that's from February. I thought about using these trees. I decided against the trees ultimately. It just didn't feel right to me. But I did decide at this point, I'm thinking, tags could be nice. So I'm going to make some little tags in here in just a second. I'm going to flip them over and do basically well, I used the yellow florals again, and because I thought it was a little better pattern than the polka dot down on the side of the grids. And I'll use that green like leafy piece. I'm going to create my little tags here. I will end up cutting away because I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me assemble tags, but I will also create my little hole reinforcers and glue all that together. And then I'll make one more tag for the top. I'm going to end up basically with 5 little tag tops, ultimately. I was kind of happy about that. I thought it looked kind of cute, actually. Let's see. I got a few. I'm trying to use everything up, you guys. I really do want to use everything in this kit. And I actually do pretty good. I only end up with a very small piece of green paper left, the floral, and it goes in my little green scrap bin or scrap envelope. So now I've got my tags made. I've got my tags glued down. I think I've even got that time to bake glued down. If not, I'm actually trying to do it all right now. And I've got, no, I haven't glued my chest on. I think I'm just kind of assembling everything at this point. You can kind of see what I'm doing. Even my photo, I haven't even got my photo corners on there yet. I think this is where I'm doing that. So I'm going to take my little photo corners. I think I've shared this with you guys before. I typically will tuck my picture into the photo corners, leaving the adhesive piece kind of exposed, and then I'll lay it down on my thing here and attach it with the little sticky parts. But this way I don't have to try to make it. If you don't do it this way, it's like there's no way I'm getting that to fit properly. So, and also the cool part about these little cork pieces is they're actually self-adhesive. And I don't know if I realized that, to be honest with you, when I don't even know if I paid any attention to that. And I was like, well, that's kind of clever. They're self-adhesive. They'll go right on. I scuffed the edges, like I said, of pretty much everything. So even the little time to bake thing got scuffed. And let's see. So yeah, I did a little tag at the top up there. That's where I'm going to put a couple of the banner pieces. I kind of like this. The other one says Family Faves on the little tabby piece there. So I have a tabby piece that says Mom's Recipes. One says Family Faves. One says From Our Kitchen with Love. Bunch of little wordy bits on this layout. I kind of like it. There's 2 little round pieces I'm going to put down with that little house. And one says Don't Flip Out, which I think is funny. And then the other one says Whip It Good. They came with the ephemera with this kit. Let's see. Oh, and I will ultimately pull out some string and put them through the tags. I don't leave them naked. I'll make a little big bow on each one of them. So I actually did something a little different than I normally do. Normally I just kind of wind them through or tie little knots or something, but I went ahead and put bows on that one in just a minute. Now I had said I was going to use these Simple Stories flowers, and I don't hate them, but I try to use them, and honestly, I just felt like it wasn't the same like look. It's just that this collection has, I don't know, it's just a different look to it. And so I was putting these, it might have worked if I had made it. But I really started looking at it going, you don't even need these, Christine. You're kind of actually taking the eye away, I think, in a way. It wasn't, I didn't care for it after I started putting it down there. So I'm going to mess with these for just a second. I'll even kind of put one down there, thinking I'll put maybe, on the bottom of the journaling piece. And I'll stick these 2, the big flowers, I'll stick them on there. And I just decided against it. However, I do get the 2 green butterflies. There's 2 little green butterflies, and I will use those. I think those turn out, that's okay. But for some reason, the flowers were just not speaking to me. But I do like the little green butterflies. So I put those basically where the tag groupings are. I only had 2 of those, so that seemed to make the most sense to me. I'm trying to put this little tabby piece on here. I don't know why I keep messing around with stuff here. It's like, what, Kristen? Oh, this house. I ended up putting that house back exactly where I had it. I moved it a couple of times. I'm like, what are you doing that for? Just put it back where you had it. I think I was mentioning to you guys about the dream cake. Did I tell you guys about the dream cake? It's so good, you guys. And I'm kind of sitting here thinking in my head, my birthday's coming up in June. I wonder if I can get my mama to make me a dream cake. It's been a long time since I like it. My favorite kind of cake is chocolate with buttercream icing. Please don't get me the icing with marshmallow flavor. They're marshmallow whatever, whipped icing. I don't like that. That is just not worth the calories, in my opinion. If it ain't buttercream, I don't want it, except this cake. This cake has that wonderful glaze that she pours over the top of it is so good. And it kind of like, because it's like glaze, it kind of like, not hardens, that's too strong of a word. It's not really hard, but it makes that little sugary kind of crusty thing to it, almost like a, kind of like a creme brulee, but not quite that hard. So it's just a really good cake, you guys. I think she uses buttermilk in it. My granny used to drink buttermilk, you guys. That smells so bad. She used to drink buttermilk and eat bacon fat, you guys. And she lived to 92. So it's funny all the dietary guidelines we get today. And those people back in the early 1900s ate all kinds of stuff. I am totally off topic, you guys. Okay, I've glued all the papers down here. I've got my little butterflies. I'm going to use a little Nuvo glue and glue those down in just a second. I did not put foam up underneath their wings, mostly because, well, I don't know why. I had put the Nuvo glue down and they were still kind of like lifted, so I didn't think I had to have it. I might still come back in a little bit of foam dot just to make sure it stays lifted, but there's Saturn. She needs her love right there. So I think the next thing I do is do the string, and I don't think there's anything, I mean, you don't really need to sit there and watch me do string. So I think that's all I'm going to do the layout. Yep, here you go. So she's moved over. Y'all can tell she's all in my business. So here's the layout done, you guys, except for the journaling. So I'll do that off camera, and thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.